Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear him.
Okay,
And
bet.
let me hit record. We just went live.
Bet.
Hello. What's going on, guys? Today, back after a few week intermission, just life and all that good stuff. Regardless if you're hitting us on, I guess, streaming service or if you're listening or watching on YouTube, what's going on? We're entering the final four of March Madness, which we'll talk later in the show. Will probably be between Luke and Henry, mainly because they care about that. And then we'll talk right here today. We'll talk about a few teams that are playing better without their key players. We'll also talk about other aspects around the NBA, such as the MVP award that seemingly is going to Jokic, the Rookie of the Year that is going to Victor
Wemby.
Wembanyama, Rudy Gobert being Defensive Player of the Year, and then
Should be
looking,
Wemby.
he's actually had more blocks than when Jaren Jackson Jr. did last year.
Wemby
And
does?
yeah,
That's fucking insane. Yeah, give this
yeah.
man his DP. Dude, give the man DPOY already.
So with that being said, and then we'll do kind of like who we expect to make the playoffs. And Joel Embiid is returning this week. So yeah, I guess that's where we'll start. So let's just start right here with, I guess we'll talk more in depth, but I guess we'll start the show off with who our final four predictions could be that we think's going to win.
UConn.
Yep.
UConn.
Give me
I want
UConn. Give me UConn.
fuck
Give me
UConn.
Purdue in the championship.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
I really hate that I hate that I have to pick that, but like dog, it's kind of
it,
self-explanatory.
yeah,
Like
it's self-explanatory, but I think
it
everybody
sucks.
it sucks. Yeah, like fuck
I want
UConn.
Bama. I want Bama and NC State. That's what I
Yeah,
wanted. But
I
no, that's not
actually
gonna happen.
I want NC State to win it. I don't want Bama to. I fucking hate Bama's here because I know so many kids who go to Bama and everyone's been posting
Yeah,
on
but
their
like they've
school.
never they've
They're
never been here.
no,
It's
fuck
cool.
them. They're all posting on their story. We're like, we're everything school. You're all jealous. We're
You
everything
guys
school.
lost. Yeah, this is your first Final Four ever. Pipe the brakes, but
Yeah, but
like
they've been going. I've seen
slow
so many
down,
kids. They're
chill
like
out.
everything school, everything school. I'm like, fuck you guys. But yeah,
Yeah,
no.
Texas did this shit. Texas tried to do this shit too, and it didn't work out
The
for them. So
only
don't.
everything school is fucking Florida.
Not even.
No, but what I'm
It,
saying back in like that year because they had
oh yeah, I
but then
guess.
guess
Or like
what? Guess what?
Ohio State. Ohio State.
No, but
Ohio State was good around that
Florida
time.
and
Both.
KU are the only two schools to win a national championship and a bowl game in the same season. Everything school.
Yeah, everything's cool. I agree. But I hope that like NC State wins. That's what we all
Yeah.
want. That's what we want.
That's what we want just because it'll like change. But like, I mean,
Because
part
it'll
of the
be
reason.
fucking awesome if an 11 seed wins. But I'm just glad. Hey, I'm just glad Duke lost.
So pivoting from there, Zach Edey is somebody I wanted to talk about. I don't. I personally think Zach Edey's like, I don't know, like I just can't see him being much better than Boban Marjanovic, and like I think he can be a solid.
He's gonna have a worse career than Boban.
I think he'd be a solid backup, but like what I think somebody said today that not today, but this week or like in the past like month that he'd be a first round pick. And I mean, I guess in the late first,
Hey, I will say, being a 70% free throw shooter at 7'5" or 7'4" is extremely valuable.
yeah.
I will
I
say.
think it's I think it's the problem is movement. I don't think he's gonna move.
No, exactly. He doesn't move as well as Boban does. That's why I
which,
think he's going
which
to
is
have a less
insane.
successful. Yeah, which is why I don't think he's going to have as long as successful as a career as Boban had.
Also, people don't realize that Boban Marjanovic, just pull up his European stats and you'll like look the fact that Boban could go back to Europe and be probably a top 5 center in the league, but like he
But
makes
why
more
would he?
money. Yeah, but why would he?
Yeah, exactly. He'll
Like
be
he's
an NBA bench guy. He knows the job guaranteed. Like he doesn't matter. Like any team is going to sign him to be the 13th or 12th man who comes in.
yeah,
And
exactly.
plays
Like
like a little bit.
Boban's
Like he's
last year in
Boban.
Europe, he averaged 17 and 11 with a block a game, and shot,
Yeah,
62% from the field and 78% from the free throw line.
that's awesome efficiency.
Yeah. And he played only
Yeah,
27 minutes.
So like again, Zach Edey, good player, and I think he could be like he's a good player. Obviously, he's a great college player, but he doesn't move well enough to dominate at the NBA level. Considering that like if you're 7'4", you can't just dominate the NBA level. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Taco Fall would have been an all-star.
Exactly.
So it's not that I don't think he can stick around the league. It's just that I think he reminds me of like a worse Boban.
Caleb Spencer has a chance to have a longer career than.
Yeah.
Certainly. I think the other interesting. Sorry, go, Luke.
No, go ahead. I was just agreeing with Cyro.
All right. Oh, yeah. I think the other interesting thing about Edey is that he is pretty much strictly like right hand over his left shoulder for his little hook, for his push shot.
Yep.
If he had Jokic type skill where he could go over both shoulders with both hands, he'd be talking something. Edey just isn't.
I'll put it this way. Udoka Azubuike had more skill finishing with hook shots with both hands in college than Zach Edey did.
If Edey was 7'4" and could be polished from anywhere on the court within like 10 feet, you'd be talking some like backup center skill maybe. It's not
If he was 7'4" and had Udoka Azubuike's offensive skill set, he would be talked as that center.
I don't even think that's the thing. Like I think
but it's part of it,
well, it is part of it, but I think it all comes down to the way he moves, because if he was 7'4",
I'm saying in addition, yeah.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
in addition to that,
even if he was able to move, well, the thing, let me phrase it. Offensively, he should be just dunking everything within 5 feet, and he doesn't. Okay,
in college he doesn't have to. In college,
I know, but
they can throw the ball
he
down.
He should look like Mitchell Robinson. He should look like Mitchell Robinson out there. And that's part of the reason why I'm not excited, because in college he should look like Mitchell Robinson, meaning that he should just be fucking ripping the rim down with it, but he doesn't do that. So then I'm like, well, if he doesn't do it already, then it's not going to happen at the next level, because it's going to be way more difficult.
You're absolutely right. Instead of even turning to the hook shot in the first place and it rolling around the rim, you should drop step, turn, and yam on it.
Drop step. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's my
and
whole drive.
Also, again, another thing I think he struggles with, considering he's a goddamn 7'4" behemoth, is it's not that he's a bad screener, it's that he's a bad roller.
Yes,
because he moves terribly.
He cannot get downhill at all.
He's a bad roller. Again, he can get away with it in college because he doesn't have to get downhill. He just elevates with the post hook. The problem is you can't just go up and elevate with the post hook. You need a Mitchell Robinson yam on people at the NBA level. He does not do that. He doesn't build momentum when he's rolling downhill to the rim. I think he struggles with that. And I think that, again, that will be a problem, because that's where his offensive value lies.
He'll make more money. He'll have more success and make more money just going to like Turkey, and
maybe not make more money, but have more success.
I mean, depends if like I don't see him being much better than Omer Year 7.
Yeah, potentially.
And I like Omer Year 7 way better than Zach Edey.
Zach Edey just was a better. He has like.
I mean, Boban is the comp essentially, and Boban might be better.
And Boban is going to be better. That's what I've been saying for the last month. We've been talking about Zach Edey. That's like I'm like Boban's career is going to be longer and more successful than Zach Edey's will, because like Zach Edey, I don't know if he has a decade plus long career in the NBA, and that's what Boban's done. So
yeah, it's pretty cool to see Boban just continue to go out there. All right, let's pivot to the next thing. And NBA awards, it's basically Jokic's award to lose at this point, especially with Shea missing a couple games now.
The NBA awards suck this year. They're all locked up pretty much.
They're all locked up. Well, Bobby Portis, if he fucking destroys the end of the regular season, he could kind of steal the. I don't think he will. I think everyone wants to give it to Malik.
Yeah, everyone wants to give it to Malik because of the story, but and I'm not saying it's not deserved. Like, he does deserve it. I'm not saying he doesn't, but yeah, it just sucks because like none of the awards are even a race at this point.
Yeah, they're not. And the whole thing is I want to give the MVP to Shea, but
I want to give it to Luka.
Oh, I was gonna say Luka's my backup because I
haven't seen an offensive performance like this since prime James Harden. And that's why I want to give it to Luka. Like, in terms of almost averaging a triple-double type shit, that's why I want to give it to Luka. But, nah. It's Jokic's.
It's Jokic's to lose, which is it's
I wish
crazy.
Anthony Edwards was getting more. I wish Anthony Edwards was getting more buzz.
Anthony Edwards is the maturity thing.
No, I know, and also the fact that like for the first part of the season, like before Cat went down, he was like part of his usage rate is going to get taken away by Cat. So, but I don't. It's Jokic. It's Jokic. I was just playing devil's advocate. It's Jokic. Nobody else is going to win it. It really sucks because I want an awesome NBA controversial MVP race again. But the guy who Tony Kukoc said isn't on the same level as Vlade Divac and Dino Radja is going to win his third MVP. So
I didn't even know we considered Dino Radja a center. I thought he was a power forward.
It's just I'm quoting Tony Kukoc.
I know, but Dino Radja was 220, 6'10 or 6'11.
6'10, 230, dog. That is not he was a 4. He was a 4 man.
Yeah, maybe even a 3 at the time, I think. He might have been a 3.
No, he never played 3 with the Celtics. He was usually a 4 man, but you get the fucking point. The point is Jokic washes both of them, but that was a nice take to wake up to the other day, I will say.
How does he have media relevancy?
Tony Kukoc?
How did he get quoted?
Because he played with Jordan, bro.
He's also
I'm
considered
aware
like
of why
he's one of the best.
Top 5.
He is a top Yugoslavian
top 5 greatest Euro.
He's one of the best Yugoslavians to ever play in the NBA. So
like when you talk Euro players historically, it goes Drazen Petrovic, Oscar Schmidt,
Arvydas Sabonis,
Tony Kukoc.
Yeah,
that's like in Europe. That's
like
how they
the, like the
and
like
then
the pre-Dirk.
No way.
Like
Wasn't he a pretty mediocre bull?
But he was a good bull. But it's like we're talking about. It's more than in this like the pre-Dirk era, like the era of those motherfuckers not coming over at 18 and 19, coming over in their 20s or late 20s.
Yeah. Tony Kukoc
is like
first one to come in his prime.
What he did in Europe.
Yeah, he was the first one also to come like in his prime. Drazen Petrovic came as a like unknown person and like blew up out of nowhere. He was just a really good 3-point shooter, while Arvydas Sabonis came in. Arvydas Sabonis came in when he was already old and beat up. And then you had what's it called? Tony Kukoc is considered like he was the first guy to ever come in his prime. I think obviously the greatest basketball player is that Greek guy, the Spanolis guy, whatever you call it.
But he didn't have the NBA success, obviously.
He never came to the NBA, I thought.
Yeah, he stayed in Europe. Vasilis Spanoulis. Yeah, he just been playing in Greece his entire time.
Yeah, Vasilis. He's considered the greatest European of all time.
Drazen came over in his prime.
Yeah, but Drazen was what came over because he was an elite 3-point shooter, but he wasn't the best Euro player when he was in Europe. He was just a revolutionary 3-point shooter, and Detroit Pistons.
I know. I'm just saying everybody in Europe, everybody who was in Europe, he was best.
Oh, yeah. But he was brought over because he was like the way he was basically Del Curry was in the league, and people were like, oh, shit, this guy's doing what Del Curry's doing in Europe. Let's bring him over.
Yeah, pretty much. Elite shooting.
Yeah, at 6'5".
But, and can handle the ball. But yeah, those you're right. Those guys are like the top 5. Euros.
The Rushmore.
Like,
the Mount Rushmore.
The non-Dirk era, because
pre-Dirk. Yeah,
because Dirk came over as a fucking child.
I guess
these are like
Vasilis was during Dirk's time, but like he played for so long.
Yeah, but it's like the point is like after Dirk, guys are all coming over in like 18, 19, 20 now.
Yeah.
Like guys are not coming over in like Manu Ginobili age anymore. Or Arvydas Sabonis, who came over with a bad back and bum legs at past 30.
That was also because of the USSR, though.
No, I know that's why he didn't come over, because the USSR didn't fold until Arvydas Sabonis was in his 30s, and then he stayed again, he did not get the chance to play here in his prime. He didn't get the chance to play in the NBA. He only came over as a 30-year-old man who didn't have a back and was still good.
No, completely.
Still insane.
So going back to the awards, Rudy Gobert, basically a year ago, everyone would have told you that the worst contract known to man was Rudy Gobert, but now everyone's just like people are having.
I still call him Fraud Bear, but I mean he's kind of proved me wrong. So
I mean, I think The other thing is I think we've also realized that what Rudy Gobert will age pretty seamlessly.
Yep. Yep. And he provides value. He's made me eat my words, even if I still think he's fraud bear. He's been very productive.
Yeah, and I think
and as much as I want to give the defensive player of the year to Wemby, I mean, dude, the guy's number one in defensive rating. What am I supposed to do? Not ignore that, you know?
No, completely.
Like, fuck. I hate giving Rudy Gobert props. God damn it.
I've grown to like Rudy Gobert, and I guess that's who's coach of the year. I think the only coach of the year is the only one that we could say is debatable. Or is it Mark Daignault?
Sorry, you want to repeat that real quick?
I hope it's Mark. I'm checking the books right now.
But, the only award that's up in the air is coach of the year. Rudy Gobert.
It's Chris and Mark. It's between Chris and Mark, ain't it?
Chris
Finch.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! I don't know why I was sitting here. I'm like Chris. I'm like trying, but yeah, Chris Finch. I think they're saying dark horse. Tom Thibodeau, then Mark Daignault,
maybe. But the Knicks were supposed to be good.
Jamal Mosley, I think, is another one in there.
Oh yeah, because he's done great. He's done great work over there in Orlando.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
I think it goes Joe Mazzulla 5, Thibodeau 4, 3 is Jamal Mosley, 2 is Chris Finch,
boy,
and then 1 I think they're giving it to Mark Daignault.
As they should. Bingo.
I think that's the top
5.
I think that's the top 5.
Should be.
And yeah, but I've said anybody could coach the Celtics. Joe Mazzulla shouldn't even be in the running.
Joe Mazzulla is a good coach, but yes.
No, look, Joe Mazzulla.
He's fine. Okay,
look, I'm not going to disparage Joe Mazzulla. He's done a good job, but I'm saying any person could take that Celtics job and have the same record. Not
the same record, but have a good record. Yes.
Like,
okay. No, I'll put it this way. Like, if you give Doc Rivers this Celtics team, they're worse, but they're still a good team. Does that make sense?
They're still a 50-win team. This team was, regardless who's coaching them, was going to win 50 games.
Yes, but Doc Rivers is worse than Joe Mazzulla. Come on,
I know,
you
but
give Joe
all you needed was somebody. The whole thing
who's not a bad coach, just not a bad coach, and you're fine,
just competent, just competent.
And Joe is competent.
Anybody that wasn't Adrian Griffin, where your team was not going to exodus you midseason.
Yeah, and Joe is competent. Joe's a good coach. He's not an amazing coach. I don't think give him coach of the year.
Joe is not Spoelstra though. I don't think he's shown the growth that young Spoelstra did.
But it's so early in his career.
It's so early. Dog. I know the playoffs will be indicative of how good of a coach he is. If he can make the adjustments and make the rotations, then he's going to be able to be a good coach.
And I love Joe. He's a West Virginia legend. I remember watching him in the Big East tournament and in the Elite Eight run. Like, I love Joe, but
he could get fired if they do get embarrassed.
If they get embarrassed, it's like if they lose, he might not get fired. But if they lose in a bad way, like let's say they get swept in the conference finals, yeah, he might be done, bro. But I don't know who they would bring in. Maybe Ime back. That'd be pretty funny if they brought Ime back.
No, I think they would.
They won't ever bring Ime back. Ime is done in Boston. I
think they would either get a Brad Stevens disciple. Probably someone that's, Ben Sullivan or I
don't know. Maybe they just promote one of the assistants to the head coaching job, kind of like they did with Joe.
That's what I'm saying. Like a Brad Stevens, like disciple.
A Joe Mazzulla disciple,
or a Ben Sullivan.
I don't know. I think Joe should be the man though. Joe's the dude for the future, at least right now.
Ben Sullivan was part of the 2015 Hawks, and then he was. Then Mike Budenholzer brought him to Milwaukee. Then Ime Udoka brought him to Boston, and then Ime took him to Houston.
Yeah, but
he's 40 and he's 6'10".
But they're not gonna, dude. Joe is fine right now, though.
No, I know.
Joe's job is not in jeopardy. I'm not entertaining this Joe Mazzulla slander, Cyro. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
Joe is 4th in Coach of the Year. Jamal Mosley has skyrocketed into 3rd. Chris Finch is 2nd. Mark Daignault is favored at 1.
Tibbs is 5th?
No, Rick Carlisle is fifth.
That
This is as of 2 days ago.
was
So I
my
saw
future.
a video with Rick Carlisle and
Rick
his face is
Carlisle
all
was my
bruised.
future. Rick Carlisle was my future pick for coach of the year. That's not going to hit, but I thought I had a good chance.
That Pacers team like floundered so hard.
They're fine. They're just what we thought they were.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is they're
considering how they started the season.
Yeah, and then Tyrese had that like where he's like, I've never played this bad before, like where he was like literally like bad.
I know my love of the game will come back.
Yeah, like it was bad. Like
dude, it was bad. He was averaging like 16 points or whatever during that stretch. Yeah, something bad.
It wasn't like you were inefficient. No, like your game regressed for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, like I don't know what happened, but you're like,
which scares me kind of, which makes me think that like, damn, is Tyrese just
because I'll put it this way: through March and February, his averages are 16.1 points in February and 16.7 points in March.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think
the shooting percentage in March. The shooting percentage in March fell off of a cliff. At least in February, he was still shooting the ball decently efficient. That did not happen in March.
I think we're just realizing that his ceiling's a little lower than we thought.
Yeah, and I think people overreacted.
He can't consistently play at the level that he came out. People thought he was going to consistently play at an MVP level for the entire season.
Dog, he was averaging 28, like 11 and 5, like 28, 5 or whatever, and 11 assists on Steve Nash efficiency. Actually, more efficient than Steve Nash. Sorry, he was like a 40% 3-point shooter and averaging almost 30 a game.
And I'm gonna be honest, Tyrese.
I don't think that's him.
I think Tyrese is closer to being an all-star, a borderline all-star, than he is an all-NBA player.
He's closer to being Steve Nash than some like Steve Nash who can score type player like we thought.
I was going to say he's closer to being Deron Williams than he is who's a good guy, or Chris Paul.
He's closer to being Steve Nash than he is hyper Steve Nash, which is what he was playing like for the first few months of the season.
I'm giving the Deron Williams where he's going to be in that hall. He's like very good. He'll have a very good like 3-4 year stretch, but then like I think he's better. He's better than that. I know Deron Williams' problem was I think injuries, like his body.
Injuries and attitude.
We're talking about Utah Jazz, Darren Williams, true?
Yeah, Darren Williams.
Yes. Why was I saying Deron? Darren, my apology. Darren
Williams killed Jerry Sloan's career. So like that was another thing.
That was the other thing. Yeah. And there was like pettiness, but like Darren Williams' attitude and like people don't realize he was like better than Chris Paul, arguably, for the first 4 years.
Yes. I remember. There was a legitimate debate who's better, and most people would still say Chris Paul, but it's not like it was that far fetched to say Darren Williams.
Yeah, it wasn't. And that's where I get here where I think I would not be surprised is in 5-10 years, maybe Tyrese is Darren Williams or Darren Williams.
Yeah, but I don't think without the insane fall off, dog.
Yeah, without the insane fall. No, what I'm saying is more so where, now that they're okay. Darren
he's not going to play at I'll put it this way. He's not going to play at an elite level into his mid-30s. Is that what you run? Is that a better way to word it?
That, and also I think part of the reason why Darren Williams was so good was he was playing in fucking Utah where he wasn't.
And he was goddamn it, and he was explosive.
He was explosive, but he wasn't getting as much attention. Okay.
Yeah.
And now obviously the NBA is different where every team gets equal amount of attention, but this year,
not necessarily, but they get attention.
They get attention because of social media. And
yes,
you're aware. You're a lot more aware of players than you used to be because of social media. So I think Darren Williams, when he went to Brooklyn,
dude, that's the only reason we talk about Donovan Mitchell.
When Darren Williams went to Brooklyn, New Jersey, then Brooklyn, because he was there when he was Jersey.
Yeah,
he got a target. He got a target put on his back
because he was the highest paid point guard in the league,
and he was also the best player on a New York City team. And I think now Tyrese Haliburton was getting like jerked off by national media, all there. So he got a target put on his back. So it became harder for him to do his thing. So his numbers took a dip because he's getting all this attention that he wasn't getting at first. And I don't think he'll ever reach those numbers again because he'll never have the lack of attention that he had going into. Like he had attention, but it wasn't and
also, dog, like he might just not be like he might just not be like a 55, 40, 90 guy. He might just be like a 55, like a 50, 38, like 88 or 89 guy.
Yeah.
Like
I think he's
like
closer
that
to being an all-star than he is an all NBA player consistently
like that,
in his career.
like that was a freakish start. Like it was a freakish start. Like in baseball, when somebody's hitting like somebody has like a batting average above 400 and like they have an OPS above like 1200 for the month of April, you don't think that's going to happen over the course of the entire season. So
no, yeah, of course.
Basketball is obviously just a little different because it's way easier to replicate good performances in
Plus,
basketball.
he has a lot
in baseball.
plus Pascal Siakam's there, so less touches.
Yep. That's why his scoring has gone down in the last few months as well.
So I think that's a bigger thing. That another thing he doesn't, his usage rate is technically down because they went out and they got a complimentary play. Pascal needs the ball in his hands to be effective.
Mm-hmm.
So let's pivot. Joel Embiid is returning this week. First off, we talked about this before. In football, guys come back from meniscus injuries in 6 to 8 weeks all the fucking time. So, and it seems like he got his meniscus trimmed. Obviously, I don't think he's going to look good the first week or two, or he'll look fucking amazing. The video looked great that he was there. What are the expectations? And they're the 8th seed. Their goal is to be the 6th seed. But regardless if they're the 8th or 7th or 6th seed, they're going to be a tough matchup for whoever the hell they get some. Buddy Hield, Kelly Oubre, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris have all been playing well. We've seen some Paul Reed, a little bit of KJ Martin. And I like the team, and I think it's exciting and is capable of doing a plethora of things. But what is the expectations for Joel Embiid and what he needs to look? And if they are a first round and out team or even a second round out team, is this season a disappointment, or do they get a asterisk because of the injury?
If Embiid's healthy and they lose in the playoffs, then I mean it's got to be a disappointment, right? Like you gotta again, I'm not worried about them as a Boston fan because we always fucking beat them in the playoffs, but like it's got to be a disappointment if they lose early. Like if they get a 6th seed and lose in the first round to who's the 3 seed right now?
Cleveland.
The Knicks. Cleveland is the 3 seed right now.
Yeah.
Cleveland is a 3 seed. The Knicks are a half game back and forth. Okay, yeah. If they lose to Cleveland in the first round, that's a disappointing season. On paper, with a healthy Embiid, they should be better than Cleveland, so they should beat Cleveland
for sure. I agree. I think they'll get the asterisk whether they deserve it or not. But if they lose in the first round, it's a disappointment.
Yeah, and I ain't giving them an asterisk because injuries are part of this. Injuries are part of the game, and you have to be able to play when your players are injured. And so, like, it sucks that a top 3 team in the East is going to be forced to be playing a road, not have home court advantage in their first round. But that's what's going to happen with the Sixers.
With that being said, how much credit would you give, or how important is it that they have Nick Nurse on their bench now in comparison?
I mean, like it's important, but I don't know if it's going to make that much of a difference. You know,
I think he's probably the 4th most important person they have on the roster.
We are who they are who we thought they were.
I mean, we have discussed this at length. I think, adding Buddy helps, but the cast of players is not dynamic. So Nick Nurse is going to have to be clutch, in my opinion.
It's the same they added Buddy, but it's the same fucking team that played last year.
Well, I will like what Nick.
Except they don't. Except they don't have a former MVP anymore on the roster like they did last year.
Well, they have 2 inconsistent scores in Oubre and Buddy Hield, which make up for it.
Which that makes up for losing a former MVP. I agree. But like, I mean, I guess they don't have Doc anymore, so that's a positive.
Well, I think the thing with Nick Nurse is a guy who will literally throw out the entire game plan and do the guy ran box in 1 defense, like junk defense.
In the NBA, NBA, and NBA level.
Finals.
I can't stress this. I can't stress it. I can't stress enough
against Steph Curry.
Yeah, I can't stress enough how much. I mean, I guess it works to take out a good point guard but like that, dude, that's what you do in college.
It was because everyone was hurt. It was because everyone was hurt.
No, I know. And that everyone was hurt. And it was only Steph, and you basically focus on the board. Like, I'll put it this way: like, you only see a box and 1 in situations where like KU was playing Kentucky and Tyler Ulis had 30.
Yeah.
And They had to stop Tyler Ulis. They didn't care about Jamal Murray. They had to stop Tyler Ulis. So, like, but that's in college. A junk defense in an NBA is insane.
Absurd.
Absurd. But I'm not like, we can suck Nick Nurse's dick all we want and talk about what a great coach he is. At the end of the day, like the Sixers I mean, like, I don't believe in them. They are who we thought they were.
At least with Nick Nurse, he's gonna ride or die with his players. Okay.
Yeah, and at least he's not like Doc.
He's gonna go look at this. He's gonna go. You are our 6 or 7 best players. You're playing. Everybody else, it's playoffs time. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting their minutes staggered. We're gonna win this game because of our players and my adjustments. It's not gonna be because I didn't play somebody. It's because I played our 6 or 7 best guys 48 fucking minutes.
Yeah, we had to because we were losing in the second half. And
but Nick Nurse is famous for playing 6 or 7.
I know. I'm just saying, like, specifically in situations where you would need to play all your best players when it's a close game and you need to win to keep your season alive, which is what's going to happen at some point to this team.
Yep.
Because
enter Kyle Lowry.
I just don't believe in the Sixers. I don't believe in the name. I don't believe in the logo. It doesn't matter who's playing. What's their jersey? The Philadelphia 76ers. That's whose logo is on the front of their jersey. So I don't believe in them. It's like the Suns. I've seen it too many times. It doesn't matter whether it's Brett Brown, Doc, or maybe Nick Nurse. I've seen it too many times with this team. But, like, I don't know. I have no reason to believe in the Sixers because the Celtics beat them every fucking year in the playoffs. If they can't beat the Celtics, then what are we doing here?
I know, and it's wild to think about it. Like,
yeah, because if they play the Celtics in the first round, I'm sorry, like, they're done. Like,
yeah, and you're realistically looking at no Melton for the playoffs.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, and that's another guy. Yeah, so I don't know the Sixers. I'm not confident in their ability to. I know they have Embiid. I know on paper they're good, and they did almost beat Boston last year, but. Like, I have more faith in the Cavs actually beating the Celtics in the Eastern Conference than I do the 76ers.
I'm just excited to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited, especially from the Western Conference side.
And
because that's a jumbled mess. That's a jumbled mess. The Western Conference, it's a fucking jumbled mess.
Yeah, we're hearing that OG Anunoby and Julius Randle they don't know if they're going to come back, and that OG is more likely than Julius Randle to play in the playoffs.
Oof.
Yeah, that one's wild. That is wild. All right. One thing I wanted to talk about, 2 things. First off, Mike Conley and the Wolves sale drama, as far as the players are concerned, we think just are like, damn, that's crazy. Second thing, what people need to understand, why did this get fucked up? First off, the Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez try buying an NBA team on layaway. They just didn't have the money. They literally tried putting an NBA team on a credit card.
Yep.
It's like
and they did come up with the money.
They own 40%. They own 40% of the team.
Yeah. And
that's been approved.
They came up. They have like the money that it's just the problem was like you said, like they tried to buy an NBA team. They didn't have the investors to buy an NBA team.
So yeah, and so they did,
and it didn't work, or it might not work. Do you want me to explain explain the arbitration stuff?
No, let me. So I've found more information out as the week has progressed that I want to share with you guys.
Okay.
The way that this goes, okay. Glenn Taylor, first off, we knew this for months. We knew that this possibility was going to happen. All right. And
he's a snake.
He's a snake, but we knew for months that a bunch of Timberwolves people were writing that, like, in passing, saying that Glenn Taylor is probably having some buyer remorse because of the valuation. The franchise is worth almost $3 billion. He sold it for 1.5.
Michael Jordan sold the Hornets for 3.
And he didn't even.
And that's worse.
And he didn't.
That's
the entire. He's still a minority owner.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that's a shitty ass team.
Yeah, and their valuation is lower than the Timberwolves. So
actually, it's not. I looked. I think the Grizzlies is the only one.
No, Sportico, Grizzlies.
Sportico. Okay, because I looked at Florsham a couple months ago.
our article that we use Sportico for has the Hornets is the worst, Grizzlies is the second worst, and the
Then
Timberwolves as the third.
That
So-
makes sense. That makes sense as well. Okay.
So
Anthony Edwards then.
without and Alex Rodriguez and Mark
Yeah.
Lore.
And they're good.
Yeah. So with that being said, they said that everybody knew this was going to happen because Glenn Taylor was definitely having buyer remorse, and he was probably looking for an out. Second, they got the money and they could have gotten an extension, but Glenn Taylor said it didn't meet the circumstances. So that's going to go in. That whole part is going to go to arbitration. But the real thing is now, even if the Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lore are not able to finish purchasing the team, or Glenn Taylor refuses to buy back the 40% they paid him because he is $600 million richer. $600 million has been accepted by the NBA and is in Glenn Taylor's bank account. If they remain with the 40%, Glenn Taylor now has, for the first time ever, a almost equal investor that, we're going to pay the luxury tax for $500 million of $500 million. Guess what? I only pay 320. You're on the hook for 200 million. And guess what? Every single day you don't pay me that 200 million, by NBA bylaws, you have to take away, I get to take away equity from your stake, which means day by day, I get to take 1% of the team from you that you don't pay me. And guess what? We know you don't have that money. So Mark Lore, what's it going to be? I start making sure that this luxury bill is the biggest in NBA history, and I start bleeding you dry day by day, or we work together and we sell the rest of the team to somebody else, or basically there's a plethora of things working out. But yes, because they are on the hook now, anytime the team goes into negative, guess what? Glenn Taylor calls up, Mark Lore, you owe me 40% of this.
Yeah, and that's fucked. Glenn Taylor's just fucking being so petty right now. This is crazy.
And Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez have said this is all about buyer's remorse. All right.
Yeah, because the team is better now because the NBA has grown in value.
Yeah. So, and with this,
because this is old.
They're obviously, this is for lawyers who specialize in M&A law, and that's and so me. Yeah, so this is all about it's a lot of acquisition and contractual language that's going to have to be really be kind of. I personally think the way this is going to play out is it's going to go into arbitration.
Yes. That is not.
I think there's three things that are going to happen. They're going to get fucked, and Glenn Taylor's going to go like this: I won, you're 40%. It stays like that. They wait till Glenn Taylor fucking dies or whatever. Second, Glenn Taylor buys their stake out, or Glenn Taylor sells the team and then offers them to have their stake bought by the new ownership group. Or three, NBA intervenes and forces Glenn Taylor to finish the sale. Or four, because this is also the fourth time Glenn Taylor has done this. He has sold the team 3 times before. This is just the furthest it's gotten along.
Yeah. And he sold parts of the team before, or been in talks to.
It didn't talk
like with the KG group.
Yep, it's been there. So, and then the fourth thing I think could happen is that
the snake strikes again.
Glenn Taylor continues to rack up the luxury bill and starts forcing Lore to pay him. And again, by NBA bylaws, if you're in an ownership group and one of the owners doesn't pay his half, you can take his equity as a form of but
I don't know if the NBA would probably step in. Like
they're already on pace. If they
no. I'm just saying if it got to the luxury tax point, I think if there was a dispute going on about the ownership of the team, I don't think that the NBA would. I think the NBA would let the legal battles continue instead of punishing Lore and A-Rod.
You don't think the league would let Glenn Taylor hold them hostage?
No, the NBA will.
The league would not.
Will side with Mark Lore and Alex.
The league will not let Glenn Taylor hold them hostage. There's no way that the NBA would do that. That's a bad look.
The NBA will take over the team like they did to Donald Sterling and the Clippers,
or when the Pelicans were trying, or the Hornets were trying to sell. And David Stern became the owner's rep.
Yeah, they would do that before letting Glenn Taylor pull any of the shenanigans. And what they would do would be like, you're not owner anymore. We're not screwing you money-wise. You just fuck you. We're controlling this team. We're controlling the sale. leave, you'll get a check for 1.5 in a few months.
Or
they wouldn't take his money away. They would just tell you, this isn't your team, we're selling
or
it.
they wouldn't make a decision and they would just take temporary control of the team while they're fighting out the battles.
Yeah, but I think they would force Glenn Taylor to sell. If they have to, they're going to force Glenn Taylor to sell, and they would hold on to the team until
if he kept them hostage.
But they wouldn't even have to. They wouldn't even have to because Mark Lewis owns 40% of the team.
Yeah. They're not. They're also not going to hold them hostage, and also this is not going to get to that point. Like,
hopefully,
this will be resolved after arbitration.
That's the plan.
That's the plan. That's what will happen. And then if Glenn Taylor loses, he's going to try to vacate the award. But then, like, he's going to go to court and say, "Hey, this arbitrator, like, he's going to try to have the award vacated," and it's not going to happen.
That's true. All right,
because they fucking agreed to this shit.
Let me hear your boys' final four predictions. I'm gonna turn my camera off, and I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. I got to use the bathroom. So
we already gave them. We don't even need to.
Not predictions. Matchups. I guess. Whatever.
Oh, I guess. Yeah.
I don't know what else.
Do that. Like, but dog, it's just like the UConn Purdue is gonna wash NC State. Sorry, DJ Burns.
Cam Spencer, second round pick.
I do think that the cast of NC State guards is an interesting athletic matchup versus Purdue.
Yeah, DJ Horn could be in for a big night against.
I mean, the Bama game is just like, all right, how long until Pringle gets ejected? How many threes will the Tide hit?
Let's see. Bama's gonna come out chucking from threes, and if Stevenson hits 5 threes off the bench again, they have a chance. But I don't know if that's gonna happen. And also, is Mark Sears going to? Like, which Mark Sears is going to show up? Because in the last game, the first half, Mark Sears was like terrible. Like, he was bricking everything. And then the second half, Mark Sears became Jesus and fucking led Alabama to the win. So
I think Mark Sears is coming.
Sorry. But I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I think Jesus Mark Sears is coming. It still might not be enough.
Jesus Mark Sears could have 30, and I love Mark Sears. He's been one of my favorite players since he was at Ohio, back when Ohio was a wagon. And he could score 30 and they could still lose. I don't know, man. And also Grant Nelson. Grant Nelson and Donovan Clingan is the matchup to watch. That is the matchup to watch.
Jeez.
And it's going to be not good for one of them. And I can tell
it's not going to be good for Grant Nelson.
It's not going to be good for Grant Nelson. Damn it. I love Grant Nelson, but he's going to get fucking cooked.
Yep. And I hope Latrell Wright's healthy, though. I actually like him a lot.
Is he? What's the injury report?
Head. It was head, and then he played, and now he can't. Oh no, he missed the last two. He actually did not play versus
He didn't play after. I was like, I didn't think he played against Clemson because I didn't see him out there.
I thought he came back and got hurt again.
I didn't see him out there against Clemson. But
yeah, I do think that Grant Nelson is in for a world of pain.
Yeah, Grant Nelson is in for a world of pain. Yeah, I don't really like his chances. But like, it's basically going to be after like, I mean, like, obviously Aaron Estrada and Ryan Griffin are good players, but like, if one of them along with Mark Sears becomes Jesus for the game, that might be the chance. I just think it's funny that the spread for the UConn Bama game is larger than the spread for the NC State Purdue game. I just find that funny.
I was in
People
a very
really
deep conversation.
Love UConn.
Yeah, so it comes down to, all right, is NC State just like more reputable than Tide, or is it juggernaut effect of UConn?
It's juggernaut effect because UConn's been blowing everybody out this tournament too, I think. And I think people like, but like Purdue was too until Tennessee. But like that's Tennessee. That was supposed to be a competitive game. Like UConn played like the best team UConn played. I mean, like I guess like San Diego State's pretty good, but like UConn beat the shit out of them because it's UConn.
Yeah, very liable. Their team is very liable to be blown out offensively.
I know, I'm worried about Alabama's defense. Like, dude, Illinois was a good team too, and they got they're shit rocked. Like, so, and like Alabama is a good team. Don't get me wrong, but like, dude, what are they like before entering the tournament? They were like in like Torvik, they were like 100th in defensive efficiency.
Yeah,
like I don't trust that team. And also, as much threes as they shoot, they aren't a particularly good 3-point shooting team. They're average. They just shoot a lot and they play really fast.
Yep, and they expect the possession battle and threes being greater than twos to close the gap.
Yes, and it's like mid-range. There's no mid-range jumpers, no nothing, no slow offense. And UConn is the opposite. UConn is one of the slower teams in college basketball. they're like what a 200 something in tempo or 300 something. They're like low 200s, high 300s. They're like really slow. A slow plodding team that takes time and patience to get good shots, and it doesn't really care where those good shots come from.
Yep.
Even though they shoot threes. But
Yep.
it's
And
like keep going.
you have a Bama defense that's playing better because everybody's energized and they're running around.
Oh, but they're
A
not
slow plodding, meticulous offense is still going to expose them.
Yeah, I know. And it's like why Clemson gave them a bad matchup and why Clemson beat them in fucking on the road early in the season.
They were a
Like
fun team to watch. They ended up having a lot more synergy than I thought
they
they did.
surprised me. I like, and like this is like they were good early in the year. Like I remember, like I saw them win at UNC. So it's like, but they did better. They looked really good. I didn't expect them, and it was like before the Bama game, they trailed for like 50 some like a minute or something, and how many seconds throughout all three games of the tournament. Like they beat Arizona handily and led most of the game. Like it,
Yeah,
so
well,
they impressed me. They blew out New
I
Mexico.
yeah.
They impressed me. They beat Baylor and led most of the game. They impressed me. They really shocked me. I didn't expect Clemson to be that good.
And I was watching those wins and kind of like poking holes as I went. Baylor couldn't hit a single three that whole game. I thought
They
that New
won though.
Mexico.
They won. That's what
I know,
impressed
well,
me.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like I was poking holes. Like, oh, they wouldn't have won if Baylor hit like at a few threes. New Mexico just out of sorts from the jump.
It was so funny because it's like when you looked at their opponent 3-point field goal percentage entering the Alabama game was like 18% through the first three games. Okay, like
yeah,
that's
exactly. That's a hole.
crazy.
That's a hole you can poke. And
Yes,
then
it
I also
100% is, but they still played really well and did what
yeah,
they needed to do to
exactly.
win when
And
they
then
couldn't. They scrapped
yeah,
wins when they played like shit too.
yep. And I came to that conclusion watching the Bama game. I'm like, wow, this is a team playing very, very, very good basketball.
And they just lost against Bama. That just sucks.
Yeah.
That was hilarious seeing Clemson and Bama in the fucking Elite Eight of all things. Not what I expected. Not what
Wow.
I expected. I thought North Carolina and Arizona were going to be the locks for that spot.
I'll tell you though, I didn't like this Arizona team very much.
I believed in them more than I should have. I thought that I believed in North Carolina more than I should have too. I think that's what burned me. I think I believed in UNC more than I should have. Like I thought UNC was going to be a Final Four team. I believed in them more than I should have. And like after the Sweet 16, I'm like they're gonna when it was them versus Bama and Arizona versus Clemson. That was when I stopped believing in Arizona as much because I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know if I like this team as much. I think it's going to be a scrappy matchup against Clemson. I thought
I
they'd win,
had
but
I had Baylor coming out of this region, which obviously aged poorly, but like it's a
yeah,
testament to the fact that I didn't like either of these other two teams very much.
I like UNC too much. I was concerned about Baylor's defense, and I was right, but
Yeah. Yeah,
but
but
like
once again, if
UNC,
they hit any threes, they beat Clemson and then maybe they beat
but their
Arizona.
defense, but like what they're 70 whatever ranked defense. I don't think you can't win a title like that. The metrics show that you can't.
Yeah.
Like
What do
no
you say?
team
That'd be
outside like
top 15, top 25.
it was like I think it was like 30 something defense and like 40 something or 50 offense. It was something in that range. Like you have to have both of those. That's the lowest that any team has won. Even the teams that were like 7 seeds, like UConn in 2014, they had a top 10 defense.
Yep. Baylor did
So
indeed come in 72nd in defensive efficiency, although they played the toughest schedule
on
in the
what
country.
Ken Palm,
Yeah.
Torvik,
Yeah.
yeah,
Ken Palm.
Ken Palm, yeah. So like exactly. That's why that UNC fit the bill to win. They had a top 20 offense and a top 20 defense, but they did not win. Bama 100th whatever defensive. That's why I was concerned about Kentucky as well because Kentucky what scared me because they had a bad defense just like Alabama, but for some reason UNC couldn't take advantage of that bad defense.
Yeah. I think the thing with Baylor is you just would lean on a couple clutch defenders and hope that your defensive rating isn't indicative of your final form with your guys getting better throughout the season.
Yeah, and like I guess that's kind of what happened to Bama. Like they beat UNC. Like
How is
they
the
had,
coach not
and
the
those are
head
two
coach?
teams that are extremely toolsy, so like you could kind of make some defensive plays if need be.
like Bama's shit defense, but they came through and they could get some steals and deflected passes because they have a versatile lineup. Yeah, and again, I guess they've played over their defense has played even though they still gave up a lot of they still been giving up points, but like they've at least been like getting out and running and like forcing turnovers decently better, at least better than they did in the regular season in the last like few games, especially against UNC. They got like a big performance. And Grant Nelson had 5 blocks, which was insane against UNC. Like, so that was something that they did not expect to have because they're not a good defensive team at all. And but like, they did well to get this far. They did well to get this far. I think they had a great season, but
Certainly, they're running a pro offense.
first Final Four in program history. Great job, but this is where it ends.
Where does
Agreed.
Nate Oates go?
He stays at
I
Alabama.
think he stays. Yeah.
KU will not, even in 5 years, he'll be 50, what, 3? KU is not going to hire a coach that they can't have there for at least 15 years.
Oh, you think he would have been?
KU is going to hire somebody in their 40s.
But you don't think he would have been
He would have been a candidate if Bill Self retired a couple of years ago or last year.
what about Michigan?
Why would he leave Bama for Michigan?
They hired Dusty May.
Yeah, they hired
Yeah,
Dusty May
I know, but like, why didn't Michigan think about him?
because they're
You're
not
talking
gonna
after
wait.
Buffalo or right now?
After Buffalo, or like because they wouldn't have taken him for Bama because Bama wouldn't have let him walk. Like Bama also paid Bama. The buyout was too much to justify.
Okay,
like,
no, that's
him.
why the buyout. That's what I was like contractually.
Because Alabama gave him the bag.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, why aren't
him,
other bigger programs, blue blood programs, going after Nate Oates?
Because of the buyout.
The buyout. That's what you're saying. That's what. Okay.
Yeah, and none of them are looking for a coach.
Like, I'm sorry, but like,
none of them are looking for a coach.
I know, but we agree that if they were, Nate Oates would be a fucking great option.
Yes, but that's not going to happen. Unfortunately, I think he's going to stay at Bama for. And like as a KU fan, like I would love to see like when Bill Self retires in like 5 years that Billy Donovan comes back to college. But that's not going to happen either because they want somebody who's going to stay for. So we like for like 15 to 20 years.
No,
because that's what KU.
Sense.
That's what KU wants. That's what they want to do.
That's what we do.
But I think it's interesting because I think like I'm trying to think of what other like Louisville obviously they hired Charleston coach because they tried to get Scott Drew and he turned them down. Which that's hilarious that they tried to do. They tried to get Scott Drew. That's hilarious.
I'm surprised Scott Drew didn't leave.
No. I guess like Adidas school to other Adidas school. Maybe he wasn't gonna leave. Dog Baylor's better right now.
So before we
also Scott Drew literally Scott Drew completed the greatest rebuilding job in college basketball history. Why the fuck would he leave? You know,
that's true.
It makes no sense.
Let's talk about the last thing I want to talk about. Sending out T's and P's to Utah Jazz general manager and his family, Justin Zanuck. He is undergoing a kidney transplant. On April 2nd, Zanuck will be at the University of Utah's hospital for several days, and they'll be home for most of April recuperating. Zanuck's expected to return to normal activities running the front office of the Utah Jazz well ahead of the draft and free agency. Zanuck has polycystic kidney disease, which all 3 of his children have also been diagnosed with advanced forms of PKD and will be required to undergo kidney transplants before they turn 30 and might have to undergo multiple transplants because what this polycystic kidney disease does is it develops cysts and inside your kidney and basically renders them functionless. And Zanuck was diagnosed in October, and the husband of his wife's childhood best friend will be his kidney donor. I think his wife has it too, and his wife got it from giving birth to their first child, and all their kids have it. Yeah, it's like it's really sad. So yeah, it's like basically you develop clusters of cysts primarily in your kidney, and the disease is due to gene change, like a mutation. It runs in families. But some people get the disease, like I believe, is it contagious or transmission, right? Transmission, right?
I don't fucking know, bro. I ain't a doctor.
It's not. I don't know how she has it.
It's not. Yeah, it's not hereditary.
It is
like all his kids have it.
It is hereditary.
Hereditary is passed down from parents.
But his wife developed it randomly, from what I believe the article said too.
Oh, so that's interesting. I don't know.
Are
That
we doing
sucks.
health?
Damn.
We're doing health shoutouts or
No, it's just
Jazz shoutouts.
Utah Jazz. Yeah. So the condition is so right here. I believe the condition is born of nerve damage that affects automatic body functions like temperature, body. Wait, what?
What?
Okay. His wife has a autonomic neuropathy, which is like a condition of nerve damage that affects body functions like temperature control, blood pressure, and digestion.
Damn.
Damn, this family's fucked.
Damn. Yeah, they're all their kids. Oh my God.
All three kids
That
have the
is just
disease.
that's so that is just that's crazy. That's insane. That is oh my God. They're all sick. They're all
Yeah.
terribly sick. Oh my God. At least they have each other. Jesus.
I was about to
fuck.
say, at least if one of
My
them
God.
forgets their medication, they can just all share the same meds.
Oh my God. That's so fucked up. That's crazy. That's wow. Wow, that's insane. This world is so fucked up. Holy shit.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
I know.
All right. That was that. Yeah, we can't end the show on that sad of a note. Jesus fucking Christ.
So here are two new comedy bits. My toilet has two options.
Shut up.
One drop
Shut
or two
up.
drops. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Is the one drop for like smaller shits, and then like the two drop for like when I really think I made a mess and I
Oh
need
my
some extra
God.
flushing.
Oh my God. Okay, all right, shut up. I was talking about moving on to basketball related things. Come on now.
I don't believe Danny Elfman raped that chick. A guy like him, no way.
What?
He's one of the world's most distinguished music composers. I bet he just scored her.
Shut up. Wait, shut up. Why are you talking about these dumb bits?
I'm all for affordable housing.
You gotta make that court case that I told you about into a bit. That's an amazing bit.
Which one?
Like
The
one that I was
Jew courts?
the Jewish diamond dealers.
Yeah.
The guy's name was Goldfinger. His name was Abraham Goldfinger.
There were sides.
They were all fucking. It was a dispute over diamonds, and they were all diamond dealers. Even the arbitrator. Oh my God, it was so funny. I'm like, this is a comedy bit. This is not a real life thing. But the guy's name was.
They
named the guy Goldfinger. They named the guy Goldfinger, dog. That's not real.
This is either the start of Ocean's 14 or this is
yeah, or Uncut Gems 2.
Yeah.
Or Uncut Gems 2. That's what this is.
The Hebrew version of Uncut Gems.
But Adam Sandler is Jewish in that movie. So it is just Uncut Gems.
Well, the Hebrew version, fuck you.
It's Uncut Gems 2.
You suck.
God, it was so funny.
Wait, what's his face really transfer to KU?
Yes.
Riley Kugel?
Actually. Yeah.
What about Malik Mack? Where's he going?
I don't know. Where he's going.
Is KU on his list?
I didn't look. I know we're on Darlin Stone Dubar from Hofstra. We're on his list. That's pretty good. He's a dog.
All right, supposedly Kansas State, Texas, and
wow,
he's
that
from
would be insane. That'd be insane. What'd you say?
He's from Maryland though, and he has a Maryland Terps tattoo on his arm. And somebody commented, "John Hopkins doesn't offer scholarships."
That's pretty funny. But
he's not from Maryland. He's from DC.
Okay, so he's probably gonna go to Maryland then, or Georgetown or something if he's a nerd because he goes to Harvard.
He would go to Maryland.
I said if he's from DC, but I'm saying Georgetown because he's
from
a nerd.
15 minutes from.
No, I know. I'm just telling you, if he wants to be a nerd, which he's going to Harvard, he could go to Georgetown. You know, nerds, because it's more nerd. It's better than Maryland as a school.
He's the number one point guard in the transfer portal, even though I guess Kanan Carlisle.
Yeah, the Sanford kid.
Bucket.
I love Kanan Carlisle. I've always been a fan of his.
He's a dog.
I really like Brandon Huntley Hatfield.
And then Andrei Stojakovic is also in the transfer portal too.
Well, you
Like
said
Less of a bucket.
the Stanford Exodus. Oh, Zeke
about
Mayo, yeah.
Zeke Mayo. I like him.
He's from Lawrence, Kansas, so he might go to KU. That'd be nice. He's a
Yeah,
bucket.
he's the one you were telling me about. I thought, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one
wait,
that's from Lawrence.
Stojakovic, is he on our list?
I don't know.
Dude, I want
Stojakovic.
Stojakovic.
Page's son. Page's son. That'd be funny. That'd be wild. All right, bro. I'm probably gonna go get lunch and go to class here in a little bit.
I'm gonna go work out. Peace out, pussies.
All right. We'll see
Bye.
you for the show
Cheers.
on Friday.
On Friday. Cheers.